One client says payment is delayed. Another prospect goes quiet. A project you counted on gets canceled. And suddenly, the month you thought was secure is not secure at all. If one late invoice can wreck your Nomad budget, you may not need more clients. You may need 3 jobs for the skills you already have. Welcome to Nomad High Income Skills, Episode 1. I'm Aria. Today, you'll learn exactly how to build a 3-lane income portfolio so you can attract better clients and build sustainable high income. Here is the idea in one sentence. A crowded pipeline is not the same thing as a resilient business. If every dollar still depends on a new custom project, you may have multiplied activity without reducing risk. The goal is not 3 separate businesses, 3 websites, or 3 complicated marketing plans. It is to give your existing skills 3 distinct jobs. One job supports near-term cash. One creates your strongest service revenue. One turns useful work into something reusable. That is the 3-lane income portfolio. It is not a guarantee of $8,000 a month, and it is not passive income fantasy. Your results will vary with your skill, market, positioning, capacity, and consistency. This is a planning system. It helps one delayed payment matter less, helps you stop treating every opportunity as equally valuable, and gives you a way to build stability without automatically adding a longer workweek. Start with the cash lane. This is short cycle work that turns an existing skill into revenue relatively quickly. A copy strategist could offer a 5-day conversion review. A designer could deliver a focused homepage audit. An automation specialist could build one workflow with a defined handoff. A marketing consultant could diagnose a campaign and deliver a prioritized action plan. The pattern matters more than the profession. The problem is narrow. The deliverable is obvious. The timeline is short. The price reflects expertise, not frantic hourly availability. Ask yourself, what can I do in 5 days that gives a buyer a useful decision, a measurable improvement, or a clear next step? But the cash lane has a trap. If it is the easiest thing to sell, you may keep selling it. Then the emergency lane quietly takes over your calendar. So choose one cash offer, cap the number of slots, collect payment or a defined deposit before beginning, and allow one revision window. Keep communication contained. If cash work exceeds about 20% of your capacity for 2 consecutive weeks, pause new slots and use that time to improve your core offer or its sales process. Cash is a bridge, not your permanent address. Now consider the core lane. This is where your premium, repeatable client service lives. The mistake is offering a menu of tasks and hoping the buyer assembles the value. Instead of saying, I do copywriting, say something closer to, I help established software companies improve trial to paid conversions through a monthly messaging and conversion system. That gives the client an outcome to evaluate, not just a list of activities. A useful core offer should answer 4 questions. Can the prospect name the outcome? Do they understand what happens each month? Can you tell quickly whether they are fit? And how many of these clients can you serve before the work damages your best thinking? Those answers give you the essentials: a clear result, a delivery cadence, a qualification rule, and a capacity ceiling. Maybe your ceiling is 3 clients, not 8. That is not a weakness. It may be the reason you can charge what you're worth and deliver work that creates referrals. A premium offer only works when the delivery model protects the quality that made the offer valuable in the first place. The 3rd lane is leverage. Here's the part that often gets oversold. Leverage does not mean effortless money. It means a useful process can support more than one sale, conversation, or delivery cycle. That could be a proposal template, an onboarding kit, a workshop, a research playbook, a swipe file, or a small diagnostic tool. Start with something that already exists in your paid work. What do clients ask you to explain repeatedly? What decision do you make over and over? What document saves you from starting at a blank page? Turn that into a small asset, then validate it before building anything large. Sell a live workshop before recording 12 modules. Offer a practical template before creating a membership. Your leverage lane should reduce repeated effort over time, not become a second full-time job before it earns anything. Let's make this real with Maya, a remote copy strategist moving between cities in the United States. Her income looked impressive in some months, but it was unpredictable. She had several small projects, one large client who paid late, and a steady stream of discovery calls that made her feel busy without making her feel secure. Maya almost responded by building a course. She opened a course platform, outlined 12 modules, and then caught herself. She was about to create a third job before proving anyone wanted the product, so she made a smaller decision. Her cash offer became a 5-day conversion review, priced at $800, paid before the start date, with 2 available slots per month. Then she rebuilt her core offer around one result, an ongoing messaging system for companies with an active sales funnel. The engagement included 1 strategy call, 1 prioritized messaging sprint, and 1 monthly review. She capped it at 3 clients and priced it at $2,000 per month. That created a potential $6,000 in core revenue, plus up to $1,600 from the 2 cash reviews. Potential is the important word. Those figures are a planning model, not a promise. For leverage, Maya tested a live 90-minute workshop on higher converting product pages. She adapted ideas from client work, removed confidential details, invited past contacts who had asked for help, and listened carefully to their questions. The strongest explanations became a reusable workbook. She did not spend 3 months polishing a library in isolation. She tested demand first. Over time, the workshop and workbook supported smaller sales, warmed up future core leads, and made her onboarding more efficient. The biggest change was not simply adding another revenue stream. Maya stopped treating every opportunity as equally important. Cash had a limit. Core received her best concentration. Leverage grew from work people had already shown interest in. After testing, a month with 3 core clients, 2 cash reviews, and a workshop could approach $8,000 before expenses, depending on timing, sales, and demand. Some months would be lower. The win was fewer random calls and fewer urgent scrambles. So how do you run 3 lanes without creating 3 jobs? Use capacity percentages as guardrails, not commandments. For a 90-day test, you might allocate roughly 15% to cash, 70% to core delivery and sales, and 15% to leverage. If your pipeline is thin, cash may temporarily grow. If core is full, protect more time for assets. But every lane needs a ceiling, and every change needs a reason. Put those limits on the calendar. Protect deep work for core delivery. Give cash 1 contained window for administration and communication. Reserve a recurring block to improve or test 1 leverage asset. Then protect travel days, meals, exercise, sleep, and recovery. That is not a luxury block. It is capacity planning. No recovery means worse decisions, slower delivery, and eventually weaker income. If the model only works when every day is available to clients, it is a fragile job with flexible geography. Once a week, check a small set of signals. For cash, look at paid bookings, available slots, and time per project. For core, look for qualified conversations, proposals, close rate, retention, and delivery margin. For leverage, look for registrations, replies, sales, repeated questions, or moments when an asset saves you from starting over. Revenue matters, so do consistency, margin, and energy. A bigger top-line number is not progress if it requires constant recovery from your own workload. At month end, ask yourself, which lane produced cash when I needed it? Which offer created the best value for the client and the best use of my ability? Which repeated task should become an asset? And where did my capacity disappear? If cash is taking over, narrow it. If core is too customized, standardize the process. If leverage has no evidence of demand, shrink the experiment and talk to buyers before building further. Here is your action for this week. Write down every way you currently make or hope to make money. Put each activity in cash, core, or leverage. Then choose 1 offer per lane
and write one boundary beside each offer. How many slots, what payment rule, what stays off your calendar. Before tomorrow ends, block the time for all three. Do not add a fourth lane. You are not trying to create complexity. You are making the structure intentional. If you want help with the next step, explore the Nomad high-income skills courses. If inconsistent leads are the problem, start with client acquisition. If prospects keep saying you are expensive, start with positioning and rate negotiation. If your calendar is full but your margin is low, start with delivery systems and sustainable scaling. Choose the course that matches your current bottleneck. Apply one lesson this week and keep building income that supports your lifestyle, not destroys your health. That's your high-income blueprint for today. Take one action this week and start seeing results. A resilient remote business is not built by chasing every opportunity. It is built by choosing the right opportunities, protecting your capacity, and letting your skills work in more than one way. Your skills are your freedom currency.